ayes have it.
Hello and welcome to the program. I'm Dennis Adegunloye. Plenary resumed in the week following timeout for the Zonal Constitution Review public hearings, which held in various centres across the country. First order of business was an executive communication from President Muhammadu Buhari, who wrote to the Senate requesting the confirmation of the appointment of Major General Farouk Yahaya as the new Chief of Army Staff.
The appointment of Major General Farouk Yahaya as the Chief of Army Staff of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
And after that, the Senate considered and passed two bills for third reading. The Teaching Hospital for Modibo Adama University, Yola, sponsored by Senator Aishatu Dahiru, and Federal University of Technology, Ilaro, Ogun State, establishment bills, sponsored by Senator Solomon Adiola. The bill seeking to establish the National Emergency Medical Services Agency, sponsored by Senator Ibrahim Oloriegbe, passed second reading.
As pre-hospital emergency care involve the early qualified first aid and treatment given on site or during transportation to the hospital.
Senate is to investigate the causes of increasing incidents of gas explosion in Nigeria, especially Ogun State. This is sequent on a motion by Senator Ibikunle Amosun, while Senator Sabi Abdullahi drew the attention of the Senate to the increasing cases of insecurity in Niger State and the recent abduction of 200 school children in the state. Leader of the Senate Yahaya Abdullahi drew the attention of the Senate to the boat accident that claimed the lives of over 100 persons in Wara, Kebbi State on Wednesday 26th of May 2021. And called on authorities to provide relief materials to families of victims and to review inland waterways operations in the country.
To step up the clamping down on illegal roadside retailers of liquefied petroleum gas (LPG) who either operate without a valid license or who operate within residential areas.
And urge the security agencies to please do whatever they can to bring this spate of attacks under control.
The legislators paid tribute to late former Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Ibrahim Atahiru, and called for the naming of a military structure in his honor. Late Ahmed Gulag, whom the Deputy President of the Senate, Ovie Omar Gege, said was engaged by the Senate Ad hoc Committee on the ongoing Constitution Review. They also paid tribute to late Abdullahi Jada, a former federal commissioner from Adamawa State, who died on the 24th of May 2021. Senate was inundated with calls for 1 minute silence as the legislators rose 7 times in honor of these and other Nigerians who died in the last 2 weeks.
Well, for me, first as a Muslim, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. It is from God we come, and to Him shall be our return. Nobody knows when He's going, and I think it's quite unfortunate that we lost the, Chief of Army Staff at the time we did. He started very well, as we could see, and we had very high hopes. But of course, God knows better. And within the short period that he has, served, he did his best, and I pray that Almighty God will reward him for that. And for the issue of moral boosting, I think the action of Mr. President is the best moral booster, in the sense that Mr. President has, submitted the name of another person for confirmation, and as it's been read in this chamber. And the charge to the two committees, Defense and Army, is that this should be done as quickly as we can, so that the man can assume his full status and command the respect he deserves to command, to be the Chief of Army Staff. So I think, to me, these are issues that we have to deal with. We don't have any alternative to them, because you don't have anything that you can do to say, no, you don't die when God says his time is up. So, but I also want to say very clearly that we in the National Assembly, we are ready to give our total support and cooperation to whoever comes on board, because we believe the Commander-in-Chief knows the people he's dealing with, and he has every good reason for his nomination, and he has so nominated somebody. What I want to charge Nigerians is to pray for this new person, to leave all other sentiments apart. What is important is we have a crisis at hand, and we're looking for somebody who can do it. And if Mr. President says, I have found in this man enough competence, capability, and capacity to do the work, we should give him the support, because that is what we need at this period.
Let me extend my profound condolences to the family of Chief of Army Staff. I pray that may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow him to rest in Al-Jannah Firdausi, and also extend my profound condolences, as I said earlier, to others who died in that plane crash, and I pray that may their souls rest in perfect peace. In particular, there's one of them who comes from my state. I also pray that may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow him to rest in Al-Jannah Firdausi. I wish their family, I pray that may God give them the fortitude, the families of all of them, may God give them the fortitude to bear this big loss. And we are all with them at this difficult time. We pray, and by the grace of God, they should have the mind and the fortitude to bear this big loss, the losses they were incurred in respect to the death of the heads of their families.
Now, the zonal public hearings on Constitution Review were recently concluded. Here are two of the chairmen who presided over the hearings in Akure and Minna on their assessments on how the interactions with various stakeholders went. Let's begin with the Deputy Senate Leader, Ajayi Borofis.
Well, thank you. Actually, we're two teams assigned to Southwest Zone. The Southwest Zone was divided into two. We have Lagos, Ogun, and Oyo as one sub-zone, let's put it that way. Then you have Osun, Ekiti, and Ondo as another. So I led the team for Osun, Ekiti, and Ondo. And we had a public hearing in Akure on the 26th and 27th of May 2021. It was a very successful outreach. We had support of the British government, with the Arab community paid him a courtesy call the day before we started, and we also encouraged him to come and declare the public hearing, which he did the following day. And we were very organized, and were well equipped by the chairman of the Alpha Committee, that's the Deputy Senate President. So I don't think we lack anything. We are adequately equipped for the public hearing. And it was scheduled for 2 days. First session, 2 sessions per day. First session ends at about 2 for lunch break. Then another session, the afternoon session will start at about 3:30 to 5 p.m. We there are 3 categories of people that we were expecting at the public hearing. The people we wrote to. We wrote some people to come and, talk to us on the presentation of the memoranda. And the second people, or category of people, are the people who consider themselves as stakeholders who also have memoranda. Then the third one were just people who didn't submit any memoranda or want to be present there. And we have identified those 3 groups and prioritized them. And so we had no problem. We're taking them one by one. They will come to the podium, speak to their memorandum, which if they have not submitted it earlier, they will submit it after presenting it. Since we are there to coordinate, we are not to express any position. So we just listen to them, we guide them in the process of the presentation of the memorandum. And after the presentation, we take register it, whether they are presented before or not, we still register it for the purpose of documentation. And I think that's what we did for the 2 days. And I could see that the people were very enthusiastic about it. They came with expectations, there are high expectations that something good will come out of it. Although some people are very cynical about it, saying that it's just another exercise. But majority of the people who came there believe that something will happen. Of course, that's why they made the effort to go up to present a memorandum, have the hearing. So the whole, I think we were satisfied that we gave everybody, we did not turn down anybody. Everybody that came with a memorandum, we listened to them, we took down their document, and so they were happy. And I'm glad to tell you that since then we have been receiving the text messages, chats, congratulating us for a very successful public hearing. People expressing their satisfaction at the way we conducted. The security was good. There was no chaos. There was no fighting. So I think we did very well as far as I'm concerned.
The constitutional review is a process, and of course the zonal public hearing was one stage in the process. And rightly, I chaired the MENA Center of the North Central Zone, because what we have done in the Senate Committee on Constitutional Review is to say that we should bring the process closer to the people. And in doing so, we have 6 zones rather than just one spot. We decided, in view of the challenges of travel, the insecurity difficulties and the like, we should take 2 centers per zone. That way we'll be able to get people to maximally participate and hear their views. So the MENA Center is made up of Niger State as the host, Kwara, Kogi and the FCT. So we met definitely on 26th and 27th. Even though we finished on 26th, we listened to everybody, and at the time we closed, there was nobody who was having anything to say. So we successfully conducted that public hearing, and other people, by Thursday, some people said they were going to send in their memorandum, and we waited to collect them, and that is it.
And how do you feel about the participation went?
Well, for me, the participation was very positive, because all shades of stakeholder groups were in participation or were in attendance. The state governments, all the 3 state governments, I think they were well represented. Beyond that, many presented joint positions. The Council of Traditional Rulers also were represented, and the Niger State Council of Traditional Rulers, they also made a presentation, the position of the traditional institution across the entire country is that they should be given a constitutional role, especially with respect to security. And I think that was well presented. It was presented by the HNUP. And we also had various NGOs. I can't remember all their names now, but many NGOs, civil society organizations made presentations. We have religious bodies, the Catholic, Pentecostal groups, the Muslim groups, different people. And overall, we had, I think, about more than 55 speakers. So there were also student union groups. There were unions like the Nigerian Union of Local Government Employees, the NLC, and many other women advocates and the like. So it was a very well attended program, and I think the various shades of opinion that were presented is a representation of the shades of diversity that we also have within the zone that we are actually covering.
Recently, a public hearing was convened by the Senate Committee on Interior on 4 bills for the establishment of the Hunters Council of Nigeria, the Nigeria Peace Corps, the Nigeria Unity Corps, and the Nigeria Civil Defense Academy. Professor Dixon Akor is the National Commandant of the Nigeria Peace Corps. He speaks on the public hearing and why the Senate should pass the Nigeria Peace Corps bill.
There is virtually no local government you go to in Nigeria today, and you will find at least 100 Peace Corps in that location. With a legislation, they would have been the legal framework would have empowered them to do what they ought to do to complement the effort of the conventional security agencies. And now when you talk about the security, yes, if you look at the function being given to the Peace Corps, apart from the core mandate, is what would have by miles complements the effort of the federal government and tame some of the incidences that is happening across board. What am I trying to say? The core mandate is to develop, empower and provide gainful employment to the youth to facilitate peace, volunteerism, community services, neighborhood watch, and nation building. We can only arrest this situation when we partner with the federal government. Whether state, local government, or federal government is the same government. That is number one. That the youth should be patriotic enough to resist this attempt to be used to cause this uncanny act in order to maintain the nationhood called Nigeria. Secondly, the National Assembly, I will, rather than appealing today, is to commend them. A bill they passed in the 8th Assembly, recalling the bill based on the value of that bill and treating on that surface value. On this, the surface value shows that they know what to do, and they know that at this material time there is a vacuum which needs to be filled by the Peace Corps. Is to encourage them to expedite action on what they have started and complete it so that the Peace Corps would contribute its value services. Even the sheer number of youths we have engaged in all our offices, as you came here now, you saw numbers of youths working here. We are relieving a burden hanging on the government in terms of unemployment. And that is why the National Assembly urgently need to do the needful. They are doing their best because the public hearing was just recently about 2 weeks ago. So I won't say they are delaying, because they need to put up their report, articulate everything before laying it before the plenary. And I want to appeal that if this thing had been done in other great nations of the world, Nigeria as an emerging democracy shouldn't be an exception. And that is the only way we can get out of the war.
And the Senate Committee on Power also paid an oversight visit to the Nigeria Electricity Management Services Agency, NEMSA. Managing Director of NEMSA, Peter Ewesol, highlights what the agency took from the interaction with the legislators.
NEMSA is established by its act to carry out the functions of enforcement of technical standards and regulation, technical inspection, testing and certification of all categories of electrical installation, including the materials which they use to integrate to make those installations, to ensure the efficient production of power supply, to ensure reliability, to ensure safety, and to assure that this installation meet the required standard that will make us realize the objective for which those installations have been planned, designed, and installed. In the end, is to give us the comfort to produce services and to ensure that we use it in a manner that will not endanger both the property and life within the environment that actually operates those facilities, either at the generation, either at transmission, either at distribution, either at utilization. Utilization means, like we are here, we are actually from part of the utilization chain. Those who use electricity after it has been distributed, actually that is then called utilization, whether it is offices, home, factories, commercial premises. Then we now go to how have we enforced this, how have we done this. From the inception of the agency, we have the Department of Electrical Inspectorate Services, that's the department that actually are in charge of the enforcement of technical standard and regulation. That's in the area of generation, transmission, and distribution utilization. And then we have the metering and laboratory services, the department that is responsible for ensuring that meters that are brought into the country meet the required standard. And then we have the monitoring and evaluation unit that actually ensure that we monitor existing network to ensure that they are in regular fitness to deliver power in the appropriate measure, in the right quality, and to ensure reliability and stability of the network. Because you can have power supply flowing within the wires, but because there is a disconnect between the link on the main line and the house or the factory or the office or the environmental supply, you don't have supply, and that is not good enough. So that department is to go around, led most at time by even myself, the MD, who is actually the Chief Electrical Inspector of the Federation, to ensure that all the wires that are carrying power to our houses where to be used actually in regular fitness. I think basically, they enacted our law, and then they do oversight on entire power sector, from the ministry to its agencies, and we are part of those agencies, and our job is actually very crucial, and they actually appreciate. They came to see how we are faring, what are our achievements, and what are those challenges. And during that particular meeting too, they gave a lot of advices. We even started right that particular day with respect to, their meters, they are not sure, and their installation too, they are not sure. They tell us where they have some lines almost coming down. We've taken them on based on the advice, and we've seen a lot of revelation, which actually too is actually going to further improve, because like we discussed that day to say, yes, they now know more about NEMSA. They themselves now can debut to actually pass NEMSA's message to people. If anything is going wrong, they then know how to do it. And I think it was a very good interaction. It was a very good meeting. We saw the area we need to actually step up, and the area we have challenge, we told them where we actually need the legislator to intervene for us. I think it was quite fine. And all this issue we discussed today regarding testing, metering, came on board, and they were able to appreciate better understanding of our work and our challenges. By and large, I think we're going to take those their recommendations. In fact, we're already implementing them. At least we've gone to one or two houses where we find that the meter there really did not have NEMSA C, which is really an appalling thing.
But that concludes this edition of Senate 109. Thanks for watching. I'm Dennis Adigunloye. See you next time.